The conservatory was founded in 1983, so we're actually 35 years old this year in 2018. The conservatory was an idea between Helene Follinger, who was the publisher of the News Sentinel at that time, and her friend Bill Sowers, who was a trustee of the Freiman Foundation, which stems from Magnavox. So they were good friends, and they would travel around the world together and visit conservatories and gardens. And Helene also loved gardening with her mother. They had a garden at home, and she got the idea that Fort Wayne should have a garden and a conservatory. So between Helene, who donated $2 million, and Bill Sowers and the Freiman Foundation, in connection with Magnavox, they donated $2 million. And then Lincoln National, who's our neighbor next door, donated $1 million. So we got the $5 million to get the conservatory started. And then the city of Fort Wayne, this was an original brownfield project. They donated the land for $1. So that's how the conservatory got its start.
All three of the indoor gardens were constructed at the same time. The entire building was designed by a group called Vintage Arconics. They do not exist any longer, although at least one of their architects is still here in Fort Wayne. He works for MSKTD now, Jim Kratzat. But they were tasked with creating a conservatory that would stand the test of time, that would be exciting and edgy. The use of concrete was fairly novel in the time, and we won awards for the innovative use of concrete and the design that was that they had come up with for the building. The showcase, the tropical house, and the desert house were established based on models elsewhere. And it was decided that having a couple of different biomes, like the tropics and the desert, would be really great for educational purposes. But having something that was more dynamic, that we could change seasonally, would be more interesting to the regular visitor. And so from the very beginning, the plan was to keep changing 4 to 6 times a year that first garden. And so we have. In the early days, when I was first here in the 90s, there were 6 shows, and we would change out the flowers completely. We'd have a theme. We'd have a big prop. I remember a giant Dutch windmill that our volunteers built for us that was in the middle of the tulips and daffodils. It was gorgeous. We would always have chrysanthemums in the fall. We would have poinsettias at the holiday season, azaleas in the winter, because they are very colorful, beautiful plants that can be made to bloom in the winter. So we had 6 shows. As we went along and started to put more and more of our work, our energy, and construction into each of the shows, we realized that that was unsustainable. And so we went down to 4 different themes.